Well, here's an update on the Sony Vaio. After about a day and a half worth of working on it, fell asleep. After about a day and a half of working on it, it's sort of semi-usable. I will have to blow away the original install due to the fact that there's personal information on it. But what I can gather from it was that it was clearly a school laptop. Someone had used it for schoolwork and whatnot from at least 2006 to 2011, which would make sense for high school range. The reason why it wasn't loading up prior was, first, it was password protected. But after I got around the password, it turned out that apparently someone had tried to upgrade it to a different version of Windows XP and was stuck in an installation loop, which is why even if you were able to log in, it would go directly to the installer. It would then say the installer failed, and it would ask you to restart, and then it would be stuck. So in order for me to fix that, I had to go through registry and fix the key that told it that it was on both an upgrade, auto restart, and resume setup. So I changed those keys, deleted the files, and now it seems to boot up in under 3 minutes. Probably because of all the preloaded stuff. And actually, this is a guest account. And let's zoom in. If this is what loads up by default on a guest account, then the main account is fairly full. I take it that the person had an add-on webcam, probably like a Logitech or something. Yeah, Logitech Quick Cam, which is not included in the package, clearly, because I didn't even get a computer charger. But as for battery life, this thing seems to last a really long time, because I got it to a working condition last night, and then at about... Okay, well, the clock is wrong. This needs to be changed. But, let's change that right now. Oh, because we're on the guest account. Never mind. Anyway, so, for sake of example, when I was using this computer, let's say it is 2 a.m. right now, which it isn't. When I started using the computer today, it read that it was 11 o'clock. And I went and I did some stuff, came back, and at about 1 a.m. clock time, it was reading still at 95%. Then, right now at 2:24 a.m., it's reading just under 80%. 75%. Let's see. 75%. And specifications-wise, if we go over to... Actually, let's just log out and go into the main one. What I've also found is that whoever owned this was either they shared the laptop with someone else, or it was clear that this was a hand-me-down laptop, possibly just... I don't know. Let's change the background because that's boring black background. Yeah, the main account takes way longer to start up, clearly because there's a bunch of preloaded junk that's loading up. Okay, desktop. But as for... yeah, and then that happens. Because apparently this laptop claims that Windows is not activated, possibly because of viruses or because they botched an upgrade. It does feature Wi-Fi, but I'm not connecting it to my Wi-Fi for obvious reasons. I have also disabled and removed the Wi-Fi card. But looking at the files, the last time this computer was used was somewhere around 2011, because the files date from 2005 to 2011, and then all use and activity ceases. So I'm fairly certain that they use this through high school or whatever, or 4-H. Well, they're into horses, so they did 4-H horse program group stuff, along with high school and whatever. But from 2005 to 2011, they used this, but I think they stopped using it prior to 2011 because there was a lot of stuff that had been installed, and then the screen goes black. There's a lot of stuff that had been installed around 2005, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then after 2009, no new programs were installed. On top of the fact that the hibernation file, which this had been put into hibernation previously, the hibernation file dated from 2010. But that doesn't really make sense because there were files that said the read-write date was 2011. So maybe just something weird with that. But if you go over to add remove programs, and wait for it to populate the list, keep in mind this is a Centrino Duo with only 1 GB of RAM. While that's loading, let's go over the computer. So, it has 2 memory card slots. One is for the Sony Pro proprietary format, and the other one is for the SD card format. This does not support SDHC or capacities higher than 4 GB, considering this laptop was made in 2005. If we come over to the right of the laptop, rotating it around, we find that we have the wireless LAN switch, which is in the off position, the headphone and microphone jack, 2 USB ports, some sort of expansion flap. It's not PCM MCIA. It's some sort of expansion card, possibly for the media-enabled version with the media-controlled remote, because this does run Windows XP Media Center Edition. And then here's the CPU vent, one of the 2 CPU vents, VGA out, and S400 port. I'm going to guess that's FireWire or something. I really don't know. I've only seen that port once or twice. Coming around the back of the laptop, you can see we have an Ethernet port and a modem, the enormous battery which spans this entire section, and then here is the 19-volt DC in jack. If we come around to the opposite side, we can see that there's the CD burner, CD RW, and DVD RW, but it doesn't burn DVDs. It can read burned CDs and burn CDs and rip CDs, but it can't burn DVDs. It can read burned DVDs, but not burn the DVDs. Nor can it rip DVDs. There seems to be some sort of wear along the hinge from where it's opened and closed previously. And now that this is loaded, we can go over the programs installed. It has Flash Player 10, Adobe Reader 7, AIM 5.0, all this junk. And if we're going to sort by the date last used. The last time... Okay, so when they really started to put programs on this was about 2007, 2008, 2009, 2010. And these are all like PopCap games at the beginning. There's Bewitched, Da Vinci Code, Jeopardy, Wheel of Fortune, 2010, 2011. A lot of this was in 2011. And then Malwarebytes was used technically 2012. I don't know exactly, because I'm going to guess that they stopped using this 2012 onward, because we come up to the most recently used, which is 2015, which, there we go, 2015, which is when I started messing with the computer, and then these don't have installation dates and use dates. So this computer was put into storage somewhere around 2012. So that means this computer's been sitting for 3+ years. One thing I can show that won't violate personal privacy and just plain sort of being creepy is the iTunes library, because they have some interesting music. So the music they have is blank, Akon featuring Snoop Dogg, Black Eyed Peas, Brown Boys, Bubba Sparks. You can read these, I'm not going to read these out loud. Compilations, countdown singers, blah blah blah, downloads, etc. Fergie, Jack Johnson. Half of these I've heard of, and half of these I don't like, so it's definitely something. And then Vanessa Hudgens. I'm not going to click on that on camera. Okay, no, it's not what I thought it was. Never mind. It's just music. So that's about it. If we go over to specifications, actually, I want to see if this shows up, because I tried to do this before, and DirectX dialog, because I want to see how much RAM, like video RAM, because using Intel GMA graphics, but exactly how much video RAM, I don't know. It's detected there may be a problem in the direction. No. Huh, okay. This is interesting. So it has 128 video memory. Okay. That's about it for this video. I will be doing an in-depth video on the, what I've come to find out is a G4 PowerBook, or known as Tibook, because it's actually titanium. So I'll be doing an in-depth video on this computer in the coming days, because I'm waiting for a computer charger for it. Let's check our battery meter, and it's currently reading 64%. So it's gone down about 10% in 14-ish minutes. So, yeah. The install is obviously messed up because Media Center Edition came with themes. And it lists that this is Energy Blue, which is the default Windows Media Center Edition theme, but themes seem to be disabled because it's in classic mode. Possibly under add remove options you can get that back, and might as well check that now. But either they stripped this down because this was chugging along, or this is somehow damaged by a virus. Let's see. I don't even know if you can add. No. Themes are not listed in the list of possible items that you can install. So what I am planning to do is just blow away this install using the still existing reinstall partition. So this has been another video by Zesty Panda. Thumbs up, thumbs down if you didn't like it, thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe, leave a comment, suggestions, you know the drill, whatever. Hope to see you soon next time. A follow-up video on the, here's a follow-up video on the Sony Vaio that I got 2 days ago. I poked through the files, there's nothing interesting, it's mostly boring stool work, and then I used Recuver by Priform, Priform, and nothing really was interesting that it dug up. I mean, why would it? But just on Lark. So now I'm going to be doing a factory restore of it. And actually first, before I do that, let's turn the brightness up. There we go, now we can see. I'm going to actually do a speaker test. Because I know the speakers work, sort of. I just don't know how well they are, quality-wise. So, I've chosen to test it with this CD that I have, my Death Cab for Cutie Plans album. I'll try not to get a copyright strike. It won't be that loud. I want to see what autoplay it does, if it does anything at all. So, something popped up. Okay, so this shows up. Windows Media Player is not installed properly and must be reinstalled. Okay, so this installation is really messed up. Is there any way we can... Oh, let's try iTunes. And it still claims it's not valid. Okay, yeah, cannot connect. Let's see, okay, so that registers it. Let's go to track 4, and let's unmute it. Where's the volume? Is this the... Oh, these speakers suck. Actually, it might be that track. Let's see, which one is it? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, it's track 5. Yeah, no, these speakers... Okay. So now for a DVD. Which... this may not work as well. Okay, let's put in the first season of Curb Your Enthusiasm, because why not? It was what was on the top of the library DVD stack. Where's a real player that... Please wait while your media is detected. Okay, so it can't seem to find this. So I'm going to use a real player instead. Seeing as it's probably installed. Here it is, right there. Real player. And does real player play DVDs? I've not used real player in such a long time. Instead of making this a 7-hour long video, I'm going to pause it and come back when I have something. So I was able to find WinDVD that was installed, so it seems to work. I mean, it's reading the DVD. So let's go over to Recovery Console, which is actually still installed. Go over to Vaio Recovery, and then go over to Recovery Tools. Actually, let's just try Recovery and see what that gets us. Here are our options. Create a recovery disk, restore Windows only, reinstall applications, restore C, restore complete system. So I probably want to go for restore C drive. This option deletes all files in the C drive and restores the drive back to the original factory condition. Or let's see, Windows only. So let's go over to restore C drive. I understand, it'll delete everything. And now we are now in the restoration phase. Step 2 of 4. This step restores your C drive to that of the original factory condition. You can observe the progress, blah 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 blah, there's a progress bar. And it's currently at 16% and 6 minutes remaining. I assume this is the formatting. Step, and then it will go and initialize the Windows installation from the partition. The recovery partition is just about 800 megabytes, and the install CD of a standard Windows XP install ranges from 680 megabytes to about 750. So that's perfectly enough to have the installation files. Okay, so now we can see that Windows XP is starting up. Which then will probably launch into the installation wizard. Let's put the DVD back in. Well, back in its case. So now we have this. Please wait while installation prepares to start. If only you could see it. a computer being built in 2005, it's fairly sturdy. I removed the keyboard, if you can see, let's see. I removed the keyboard by releasing the little tabs here, 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 and here. And then I removed the screws from underneath. I pushed the keyboard forward and then upward and removed it. I cleaned underneath the keyboard and underneath the keys. There's still some grime. A little left to get with a Q-tip. Just now restarted. It is now loading back into Windows XP, which then will probably start the installation wizard. We are now back into Windows, and from what I could see, it wasn't recording at the time, but it's restored the system theme, and it seems to be restoring the software now. What do we have here? So, the applications and/or drivers are now being installed, and time varies depending on the size and number of applications included. Do not interrupt. So now we are installing Sonic Stage, which I have no idea what that is. Oh yeah, down here you can see, here is the Windows Mobile / Windows Media Center Luna theme. Your computer might be at risk. I don't know, do people like the more freehand, I'm just kind of rambling, or do they like it where it's, you know, cut, and hard jumps between each defined section where I know what I'm going to say? If you have an opinion, just tell me in the comments. We are currently at 48% battery. So finally, like 2.5 days after I get this laptop, I've made some progress working on it. I'm not entirely sure if it's my installation medium, the XP CD that I'm using, which is not installed, is not in there anymore, or this hard drive's acting weird, because when I first got it, the install was messed up. So as I said previously, I did the factory restore from the restore partition. That got me a semi-functioning install. But there were some weird things going on. Internet Explorer wasn't working. Internet Explorer wasn't working, and some programs weren't working. So then, I grabbed my Windows XP CD and did a fresh install. Formatted the hard drive, etc. And it seems to be working, minus Internet Explorer seems to be acting weird. Now I did run a bunch of updates overnight, so maybe it's been able to update some of the files and fix some things. But it goes from being okay, it goes from being semi-fast, and then this shows up. Vaio recovery insert disk 1. So it goes from being fast to slowing down, and I clicked on Internet Explorer and I'm still waiting for it to start. So Okay, now it's starting up. And then I tried to install Pale Moon, which is a fork of Firefox. Okay, here we are. Internet Explorer starting up. So I was trying to install Pale Moon, which is a fork of Firefox, and it keeps failing. Possibly because the Wi-Fi antennas are flaky, because I'm like 6 feet away from the router, and so I don't know why it's failing, and there aren't that many people using the Wi-Fi right now. And as for battery, that says 34%. That's volume. As for battery, the battery time is all over the place, so I don't know if I need to recalibrate the battery, or the battery is dying, or it needs better management. I don't know, because a quick install, because it goes from lasting like 4 hours to, when I open Internet Explorer, the battery goes down from 100% to 70% in 5 minutes. And when I plugged in my Ubuntu Linux USB, it claimed that the battery held a total charge of 48, and it was currently down to 39, which wouldn't be that bad percentage-wise of the total capacity and what it charges up to. So I'm not entirely sure what's up with that. And we're now downloading the file, but I don't know if it'll fail this time. And also, I'm thinking of going back out and grabbing one of the other laptops, because they had a new shipment of laptops, and one of them was an IBM something, one of the 90s style IBM ThinkPads. So it probably had like a Pentium and a Rage 128 graphics or something. Though that one may not have the hard drive. I was lucky with this guy, because of this computer, if you look at the bottom, this is just for memory. In order to get to the hard drive, you have to disassemble it backwards. You have to remove all these screws down here, take out the battery, the screws underneath the battery, all these screws up here, and these, and these, and these, and these, and these, and this one, and then the screws underneath here. And then you pull the keyboard out, and then you have to pull the I/O shield out, and then the hard drive is down here. So like from the D, the half of the spacebar, the C of the D, and through the middle of the R and the 4 and the F5, it's like this half is where the hard drive is. Actually, that would be all nice and all, except I completely reversed that, because this is where the optical drive is. I meant this half. This half is where the hard drive is. And it failed. Okay. Let's go the direct route. Okay. And then I'm also having weird connection errors where it'll say it's not connected, but I'm able to ping the website and my Wi-Fi's working fine. And my other laptops, that one over there, and, well, just that one, I haven't gotten the Apple to work. So that one laptop works fine Wi-Fi wise, my Lenovo Wi-Fi 60p, but something about this laptop and its antennas or something, it just doesn't like it. And we are currently down to how many percentage? 21%. So close that. So now I'm going to do a direct download of the file, and that might work. Come on, internet, don't be slow. Yeah, I think it's because I'm currently connected using 802.b, because our router supports B, G, and N, and this only supports 802.11b. So this will be slow. Well, I'm back from the thrift shop, and I guess they didn't have what I was looking for. They had something similar, but it wasn't overpriced, but it didn't have the hard drive. And I know they pull the hard drives, but in this case, it was an IBM ThinkPad from 1996, and it didn't have the AC adapter. It didn't have the hard drive caddy, because they remove the hard drives, but they don't just remove the hard drives. They pull the caddy assembly out and they throw it away. So I'd have to buy the caddy assembly and the hard drive and the AC adapter just to see if it worked. And that error pops up again. I'm trying to think that maybe the Pale Moon servers are a little bit fritzy right now. Because I don't know. So this has been another video by Zesty Panda. Like, subscribe, thumbs up, thumbs down, favorite, comment. I will be getting around to the G4 PowerBook soon. I'm just waiting for my power adapter. I really hope it works. Watch it turn out that the laptop was donated because they dumped it in the water or something.